Welcome to African Tales, Untold Truths, where ancient stories carry eternal lessons. Today's tale is one your heart will not forget. Title: The Drum That Never Lied. They say the ancestors speak, not with lips but through the wind, through dreams, through signs, and sometimes through a drum. What if one beat could expose a thief? What if one sound could tell the truth you're too afraid to speak? Today, we journey to a village where one poor boy finds a drum that never lied. The story begins in joy. Long ago, in a village nestled between tall hills and sacred trees, there lived a poor orphan boy named Kojo. He had no family, no friends, just a small clay pot and his hands. Kojo was born on a night of thunder, when the rain fell sideways and the winds screamed like angry spirits. His mother, Abina, died giving birth under the old baobab tree. His father vanished before Kojo took his first breath. He had no brother, no sister, no known family, only the whisper of his mother's name as she died. Kojo. He grew up behind Baba Tanzi's hut, a basket weaver who spoke more to goats than people. Kojo's home was a bamboo lean-to with holes in the roof. His bed, a rolled-up mat. His meals, whatever the fishmonger threw away. But Kojo never stole. He never lied. He swept the market square every dawn, not because he was told, but because he believed good things come to those who remain useful. The gods see the humble, he'd whisper to himself. He watched people, learned their rhythms, and talked to the stars at night. His dream? To be seen. To matter, to not be forgotten. Then, one day, he overheard two elders talking about a sacred drum, hidden in the forest. A drum that didn't sing for dancing, but for revealing truth. Kojo didn't understand, but the story stuck in his heart like a seed. One evening, as sunset painted the sky gold, Kojo felt a pull toward the sacred forest, a place children were warned never to enter. The wind called his name. He stepped inside. The deeper he walked, the quieter everything became. No birds, no breeze, just an ancient stillness. Then he saw it. Beneath the baobab tree, nestled in twisted roots, sat a drum. It was beautiful, smooth cowhide top, golden carvings, glowing faintly. He reached out, touched it, and tapped it once. Boom! The air stilled. Boom! Boom! The wind swirled. Then Kojo heard a voice inside, not loud, not scary. It said, "Carry what others fear, beat what others hide." He wrapped the drum carefully and returned home. No spirits chased him. No lightning struck. The forest had let him go. But the boy who left the village that evening was not the one who returned. That night, the chief called an emergency gathering. A sacred necklace had been stolen, a symbol of leadership passed down 5 generations. The chief thundered. That night, the royal drum of summoning boomed across the village square. Boom, boom, boom. People came rushing, children tied to their mothers' backs, old men leaning on carved sticks, even the toothless storyteller, Kwame the Wind, who hadn't left his stool in 5 moons. Torches flared, shadows danced across stone pillars. The chief stood high on the platform, his royal robe heavy with grief. His eyes scanned the crowd. Not like a king, but like a father, searching for betrayal. Village elder Zuberi, whispering, "The sacred necklace? But it was blessed with the ashes of the first chief's bones." Old Auntie Nyaka, "Who would dare touch such a thing? Not even rats pass near it." Jester Oloyo, nervously, Maybe the necklace walked off by itself. Sacred things have legs." The chief did not smile. A heavy silence fell. From behind him, guards carried in the empty wooden chest that once held the necklace. A black cloth was draped across it like mourning. "Chief," his voice rising, "this necklace is not just gold and beads. It holds the prayers of ancestors. It crowns truth and removes fools. And tonight, it is gone." He removed his crown and placed it beside the chest, a rare gesture. Then he stepped forward, face grim as stone. He raised his spear and drove it into the earth with a thud. Children jumped, dogs barked, lightning flickered, though the sky was clear. Chief, booming. If this thief is not revealed by moonrise, I shall flog every servant until the truth falls." Kojo stepped forward. "Let this speak," he said, unwrapping the drum. Laughter erupted. He tapped once. Boom. He tapped twice. Boom. Boom. Then the drum spoke. "The thief wears red tonight. He walks with no toe on his left foot." All eyes turned. Akon, the chief's nephew, wore red and had lost a toe to a snake bite. He confessed, weeping. The chief stared at Kojo, then gently placed a hand on his shoulder. "From today, you are no longer a boy of the gutters. You are a son of this palace." Gasps echoed. Kojo didn't gloat. He knelt beside the drum, not to expose, but to thank the one who sees all. Kojo was given a clean tunic, a mat inside the palace, a carved bowl with his name. He still woke early to sweep, not because he had to, but because it made his thoughts clear. But life in the palace was different. On the first morning, Kojo woke before the rooster. He grabbed his broom and began sweeping the palace courtyard. The guards stared. Guard 1. "Hey, boy, what are you doing? You're not a servant anymore?" Kojo smiling. "I know, but my thoughts don't wake up until the broom does its dance." Even the chief, peeking from his veranda, chuckled quietly into his beard. Later that day, Kojo tried using the palace latrine and accidentally pulled the cord that summoned a royal breakfast. 3 servants appeared with porridge, millet bread, and honeyed goat milk. Kojo mouth open. "Hey, I just wanted to pee." The servants blinked, unsure if they should laugh or bow. And during his first palace dinner, he didn't wait to be served. He picked the bowl nearest to him, not knowing it was the chief's personal stew pot, seasoned with lion tears and spices from 3 kingdoms. Everyone gasped. "Old noble, he has touched the forbidden stew." Kojo, unaware, took a bite and blinked. Kojo, "Tastes like my mother's mudfish, but with attitude." The chief burst into laughter. "Let the boy eat. If the stew chose him, let him finish it." Soon people began whispering. He eats the chief's stew, but still sweeps the dust like a ghost. He talks to the drum at night. He bathes with cold water, even when warm is brought. Kojo didn't mind. He spoke little, listened much, and helped the older servants carry firewood, even when no one asked. When a baby cried in the servants' quarters, Kojo rocked it to sleep. When a snake slithered into the goat pen, Kojo chased it off with a wooden spoon. He wasn't trying to impress anyone. He was just being Kojo. But in the halls of gold and gossip, that made him both loved and dangerous. At first, the palace servants didn't know what to make of him. He wore his clean tunic, but still walked barefoot. He had a mat in a royal room, but most nights he curled up by the drum saying, "I sleep best near truth." When the palace tailor offered to sew him a cloak of leopard skin, Kojo politely said, "If I dress like a lion, people might forget I'm still a boy." One evening during royal dinner, the chief's jester Oloyo performed a dance so wild he kicked over the water jug and fell into the soup bowl. The nobles froze. Oloyo, soaked in beans. Forgive me, your majesty. It's the drum's fault. I felt possessed." Everyone expected Kojo to frown. Instead, he handed the jester a napkin and whispered, "Next time, fall into the fruit tray. At least it smells better." Even the stone-faced royal scribes laughed that night, but not everyone was pleased. Some nobles said, "The boy is too simple. He makes us look lazy." Others whispered, "He doesn't bow before elders or flatter power." Kojo wasn't being rebellious. He just didn't know how to pretend. He greeted everyone with the same respect, guard or goat herder, noble or kitchen maid. He asked strange questions, too. Why do people whisper louder than they speak? If a person laughs every day but cries inside, is that still joy? Can truth lose its way or just its welcome? Palace life had its sparkle, but it also had shadows. Behind the carved doors were arguments over land, secrets traded in the kitchens, and people who bowed while sharpening daggers behind their backs. Kojo watched. He didn't judge. He just kept waking early, sweeping and listening to the wind. He became a quiet force in the palace. Some loved him, others feared him. One boy, Fari, despised him. Each evening, Kojo sat beside the drum in the Palace of Wisdom, not playing it, but speaking to it. An old seer told him, "Truth is a heavy gourd. If you carry it with one hand, it spills, and when it spills, it stains." Kojo listened and kept walking. Days passed. The drum revealed more. A widow falsely accused of witchcraft was spared. A respected warrior exposed for bribery. A greedy merchant forced to return land to orphans. Each beat shook the village. Boom, boom, boom. People wept, others fled. Some begged Kojo to stop. But he said, "Peace that hides poison is not peace." The children loved him. One boy asked, "Does the drum know if I ate the mango?" Kojo smiled. "Did you?" One night, Ikon and others met in secret, plotting against Kojo. "Let's silence the boy," they said. As Kojo slept, they crept into the Palace of Wisdom, but the drum beat itself. Boom, boom, boom. A wind roared. Torches died. The men ran screaming. In the morning, they were found trembling by the river. Kojo wept, not from fear, but from exhaustion. Why must truth always fight? The chief's advisor, Bako, stood accused of selling land in secret. Kojo hesitated. This man had held him once as a baby. He tapped the drum. Boom, boom, boom. The drum said, "He holds both prayer and poison." Bako wept. "I was trying to protect us." Kojo knelt beside him. "Sometimes the ones we trust fall, not from hate, but from fear." Years later, Kojo, now older, taught children under a fig tree. The drum sat nearby, silent, but still glowing. A girl asked, "Uncle Kojo, will the drum ever lie?" He smiled. "No, but people will. Your job is not to join them." Closing reflection. What would the drum say if it beat beside your bed tonight? Would it echo truth or tremble with secrets? The Bible says in Luke 8:17, "For nothing is hidden that will not be disclosed, and nothing concealed that will not be known or brought out into the open." And Proverbs 12:22, "The Lord detests lying lips, but he delights in people who are trustworthy." Life lessons from Kojo's story. 1. Tell the truth, even when it hurts. 2. Don't judge people by what they wear. Look at how they walk. 3. Forgive quickly. Hate weakens you. 4. Be the drum that never lies. Call to action. If this story moved you, like the video. Comment, what would your drum say today? Subscribe for more African tales with gospel truths.